Well, Gaffer, we've seen a little bit of training the past week or so. From your perspective, how's it been getting back into things?
I've always been amazed for the last few years how well the players come back. You know, considering I'm harking back a long time since I was playing, but it was different then. And they're all in good shape. They're all looking like they're glad to be back. I mean, what do we have? 6 weeks off, so they were ready to come back. You could see that. Really pleased with them how they've shaped up.
3 new signings so far as well. Settling in okay?
Yeah, listen, they're a good squad of lads. There was a real togetherness last year, and I think they integrate. Anybody who comes, they integrate with everybody really well. I'm watching them in training as well. You know, they're fitted into the squad. James, of course, who was the first one. You can see the quality of him and of the other two. You know, Big Mark's been at Arsenal, of course, and Ryan Wintle's played 160 odd games. All right in the lower leagues, but he's a good pro, senior pro. In terms of games, senior pro. So yeah, really pleased with them. I think they've been around, have a chat with them, they're all enjoying it.
And they came in early in the summer as well, which I would imagine is something you would have wanted. Not ideal to have guys come in after the pre-season schedule is finished, is it?
No, because if you sign them from another club, it's not so bad because they'll have been doing pre-season. But if they're out of contract and they're not, then it's hard to replicate what you've just seen today. You can run forevermore, but you can't do that football work. So to have them in here and to, as I said, to get integrated, to get to know everybody, to find themselves an apartment, a place to stay and settle and get happy, that's really important, and that's what's happened.
A couple of lads aren't back, Kiefer Moore, Ruben Colwell, for very good reason. You must have enjoyed seeing Kiefer in the Euros, and also what happened for Ruben was fantastic.
Oh yeah, I got a great kick out of Ruben being in the squad, because you know, when I turned up, myself and TC turned up, didn't know anything about him. Just one Sunday morning, a recovery session where the youngsters join in with the pros who haven't played, and he stood out like a sore thumb. We did the necessary and right thing and got him signed up, and then he had his games in the first team, his appearances, but again the national squad was, I think, beyond anybody's imagination for this season. So that was great for him, and Kiefer just continues to impress in terms of his performances, his endurance. I think he played just about every game last year. I'm not sure if it was every game. And 90 minutes at most, not to get taken off too often. And he was quality. And of course he managed to score again in the Euros. It's great for him.
A couple of young lads who missed the end of the season with Knox. Joel Baig and Tom Sang back out and looking better for the rest, and again, you know, the experience last season going into this new campaign.
Yeah, both Joel and Sangy, both back okay, training well. And Isaac Davis, of course, who hadn't played and not been in the first team, but was due to play. He made his debut, but did his ankle in the Friday morning training session. So it's good to have him back out. We've still got a few missing, but they should all be okay.
We've got a game immediately upon us, this Saturday, Bath City away, which will be live for fans to watch via Cardiff City TV, and these first 2 weeks is about getting levels up, but it's good to get playing, isn't it?
Well, I said you can't replicate without doing it, without being on the pitch and training as we've trained today. And even when you've done that, the games are still a bit of a shock to the system when you start playing, certainly when you do 90 minutes. I mean, we'll have 2 teams playing 2 45 minutes on Saturday because it's the first time back, but we're all looking forward to it.
No pre-season summit or no trip away as such, but everything's here tailor-made for us, really, isn't it?
Well, we've got people coming down here to stay here and train here. Why would we want to leave? You know, I get the thing where you go, and if you've got quite a few new signings and they want to integrate and you take them away for a week, they can get to know the players, and that's good for them. But you know, it can always be a bit of a pain and all, because you turn up, although you've done a recce on it, the pitch is not as good as this. The training ground's not as good as what we've got. The facilities aren't as good, and then the hotel's not as great. The food isn't as good, and you suddenly find, you know, it's not being what you really wanted out of it, and then depending on where you go, the opposition that you get. So don't get me wrong, I like it because it is good for the lads, but this is brilliant here. There's no reason to train anywhere else. And anyway, it would have been too much of a risk in terms of COVID. If we're all sat on a plane going somewhere and 2 or 3 get COVID and we all have to isolate, that would just be bonkers. So the decision was taken not to go anywhere, and look at this. It's fabulous.
Lovely. And it's a little way away, a month away till the start of the season, but of course it was going to be Barnsley again, just like it was for your first game.
Incredible, isn't it? Yeah, it's, I don't know, is it fate or Murphy's Law or whatever it is? But of course, Valérien Ismaël's gone, and they'll have a new coach there, see what he does. But last season was wonderful for them. I think when Ismaël took over, they were just about at the bottom of the league and ended up in the playoffs. So what a remarkable trip that was for them. Whether they can replicate that, I don't know. Some players have left. But whoever it will be, we'd be ready for it. But of course, I'll have a few. We've got fans in. I'll have a few from both sides watching the game.